search it. Only we know how to search it.
Only
apparently.
we are
Jon
the smartest.
didn't know how to search rankings until we showed him the light.
Well, and by the way, now I'm obsessed with doing that, and I hate that. I wish that I didn't know about that, because I'll be honest, like, I don't like being obsessed with that. So I need to stop looking at it. I'm gonna start looking at our downloads again, because, by the way, one of the fastest downloaded shows ever. I need to make sure I say that during the show. Welcome everybody. You're on the pre-show right now.
Pre-show.
I need to make sure that that's a thing.
We got so many ratings and reviews. That's why I'm here. We got over 100 ratings. I should check the official number now. I should probably announce that during the show, though.
Yeah, 100%. You should wait until the show.
Do it up. You know, I got to get the YouTube chat rolling into. I don't even know. People might be making fun of me for some reason.
Not yet, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Here comes everybody. Here comes the rain.
Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
Let's go.
I open it up and just see all these chats. I'm like, oh my God, there's people here watching.
So right. Weird. There was like 20 people waiting before we started.
Oh my God. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. You're getting a special Mother's Day episode of the GadgetCast, because Travis and I love moms.
Yes, MILFs. I mean, wait. MILFs was trending on Twitter. This is the pre-show. We can say whatever we want.
But I just meant we appreciate moms that like take care of their kids. You know,
MILFs is still trending. It's still trending.
I think motherhood is very important. I'm not on this, Travis.
Most of us have
people cancel Travis. This is all the evidence.
Most of us have had a mother at least once. Argentina in the house.
This is a family-friendly show.
It was, especially for mothers.
Hashtag MKBHD stole my thumbnail.
I like that logo or that shirt or whatever that person tweeted. That was good.
We look good in red. We look good in the MKBHD colors. Maybe we need to reconsider a logo change. I don't know.
I'm saying that thing looked really legit. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, trending on Pornhub. Yeah, exactly. No, on Twitter, if you can believe it. It's crazy out there. Mothers in late 40s. Yeah. Oh, that's a good way of looking at it, Genosis. That's more family friendly appropriate. Mothers in late 40s, which is typically what a MILF really is anyway, right? And so there you go.
I refuse to have part.
Yet you'll pick on one of the biggest tech YouTubers and have no problem with it. But you know, some of a faceless name, a faceless word, it's too much for you.
Yes. I will pick a fight with the top tech YouTubers. I'm getting into it with Marquez. I'm getting into it with Unbox Therapy, although we did make up officially, so I'm cool with we are now best friends. So
Mother in love with fries. I like that. Mom's in love with fries. That's good. Jersey in the place to be. Good to see y'all. Yep. Cool. We got a lot of things to cover today. That'll be good, because now we can talk about the 120 hertz and all that crap. I can talk about something that I purchased last night. I got to remember to do that, please. And that thing that I forgot to mention last week. I need to bring my sticky pad up. Okay, here it is. I got a sticky. Let me go ahead and change it.
Oh, there's a Greg in the chat. I got a fellow Greg. No, Marquez did not respond to me. So we'll see.
I talked to a guy, YouTube creator of the day, and he was telling me that he had some advice from someone he knew that has a tech channel on YouTube that has over 10 million subscribers. So I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, it's Marquise. I'm like, Marquez? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, you must not know him that well, because you don't know how to say his name. You must not be friends with him. You must just kind of know of him.
What was the advice?
He had talked to him about, it was YouTube advice. It's like, as a new channel and stuff. So it's interesting. But at first he made it sound like it was his friend, and then I realized he didn't pronounce his name right, so I'm like, he couldn't have been too much of a friend.
It's true. Do I got to keep this shtick going where I stole MKBHD's thing? Or
I mean, I don't think so, but it's up to you. It's your thing. I never told you to do in the first place, if we're going to be honest about it.
Oh, I like the joke for that episode we did, but I think kind of missed the double GadgetCast arches.
Yeah, the big booties.
All right, Marquez. Yep. Marquez, it wasn't worth it.
I'm not using a laptop. I'm using a desktop. Craig says keep it going. Let me check our rankings here. Let's see where we were. Chartable.
I use MacBook Pro, but I also use iMac desktop, so I'm using an iMac right now.
I don't understand how we got so many downloads the other day, yet we dropped 177 places in the US podcast.
I think it's a conspiracy. I think we had Mr. Prosser on just one too many times. And who controls the Apple podcast rankings? Apple.
Obviously.
I like seeing Jon Prosser all the way up top, and we'll see where Recycle Bin goes after this. Maybe they don't know Recycle Bin is him. There's no association. It's not like we literally have Jon Prosser in the episode title. I don't think Jon Prosser puts like the episode, it doesn't say his name. It just says Recycle Bin FPT.
That's right.
They're probably like, oh, Recycle Bin. What's that?
What is that thing?
But they see his name in our show and they're like, uh-oh, we got to stop to that immediately.
Because it literally doesn't make any sense. We were at, let's talk about that on the podcast, which we can start at any time. So let's go ahead. And as soon as we start, more people start showing up for some ungodly known reason. It's basically the same show. So I don't understand that. But okay, whatever.
I'm going to do something.
All right, you're going to do something. Make sure you're multi-chat, multi-thing. Multi-thing.
Sorry, my cables were intersecting and I didn't like how it was intersecting.
Oh, you actually blipped there for a second. I hope that was just a...
Am I good?
I mean, you're good now.
Okay.
I just
let me actually set my Wi-Fi. I can prioritize the connection.
Yeah, you go ahead and prioritize that.
Please ensure your Wi-Fi points are online. Well, that's not a good sign.
Oy vey. Oh no.
There we go.
Yeah, Orlando, we got him, baby. Let's go.
All right. That should be good. All right. I'm multi-track recording. We haven't done this in a while, so it's kind of
it's been a minute, right?
Yeah. Is that correct to do?
I think that's how it works. Okay. GadgetCast about to start. The most relevant tech podcast on the internet. Is everyone in the chat ready, baby? Let's go. I did not have 71 people watching me when I had 1,200 subscribers. It's ridiculous. This channel is ridiculous.
It's awesome. And I was looking at the social blades and seeing the numbers go up, and I'm like, that's pretty cool for like a little side channel thing.
It is, man. It is. It's a little channel that could. Okay. Let's do this. Let's get the hottest podcast going. Let's do it, baby. Let's go. Okay, we're going to count this down. Everyone knows how it works. All right, we're ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, record.
Hello, world, and welcome to the number 19th tech podcast in the world, the GadgetCast. I am your host, Gregory McFadden, joined always by the man himself, Travis MCP.
That's right. And for those of you that question it, we have screenshots to prove it.
Oh, we got screenshots. You rest assured, we got the screenshots. We got the screenshots of every single rank moving up by like one, like just doing one, like a collection of screenshots from like 25 to 19. And that's where we peak. Travis, we got up to number 19 on the charts. I'm so excited.
Bro, I don't know exactly how we did it. Well, I mean, I know how we did. We had Jern on, which is fine.
True.
But there's got to be something else to it, because we were actually doing well even when Jon wasn't on. Our downloads were way up. So super excited that everyone is really getting on the hype train. We really appreciate you, and we definitely are excited. Now, the good news is if you missed the last episode, you got to go back and listen to it. Greg said he was not going to come back unless we had 100 reviews.
It's a good thing you mentioned that, because I would have completely slipped out of my mind if you didn't mention it. Yeah, I said last episode we had 75 ratings in Apple Podcasts on iTunes, and I said this needs to be 100. If it's not 100, I'm not coming back. So if you really like the show, you got to rate it. To the audience's credit, they came out full force with ratings. We're at 111 ratings. We're beating the ratings by 11. And listen, you want to should we like toot our own horn here and like read some of these reviews? What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Let's see what people are saying.
All right, Mr. Tech Boy says, "Hi, love the podcast. It's life-changing. It truly has kept life interesting. This is the greatest podcast ever created. A gift from the heavens themselves." I did not make that review. That is a true review on this phone over here. Let's keep it going. 5 stars easily from Brent. Kevin 2185 Travis says, "This is an amazing podcast hosted by 2 of the best tech YouTubers out there." We got one from Sean saying hashtag toilet squad. We respect it. John, obviously a recurring theme in this show. Bowie says, "Love this podcast and great stories with Jern." A lot of people like Jern. I see people in the chat asking for John. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
John is here regularly, but he's not here today. And that's
he's probably in the chat lurking. Maybe.
Is.
At the last episode, you kind of caught him and he said, "Who's your guest for Sunday?" And you're like, "You are," but I guess, he didn't show. We got a praise Jern with 5 toilet paper rolls. And that's all I'm reading for now. But
yeah. Nice.
Glowing reviews of the podcast. Hey, if you want a chance to get featured in like this segment, we can make it a recurring thing if these reviews keep coming in. If you got an iOS device, Mac, iPad, whatever, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And if I like them, I'll read them.
All right. So I do want to, before I forget, I want to say, oh, look, there you go. John's favorite podcast.
Oh, there he is. There he
John's
is.
Here.
John.
John's here.
We should mention that John also recorded another episode of Recycle Bin.
Yes. Very good.
Let's acknowledge the true influential tech podcast here. Recycle Bin, number 6 in the charts last time I checked. And John gave us a shout out on Recycle Bin, which I was super happy to, like, I was so excited. I listened to the whole episode. And
I like the fact that John has a problem pronouncing certain words. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, that was interesting. I also liked hearing about John being a nervous wreck. It really hit close to home. So I'm always for that. I could bring it on. If you didn't listen to that episode of Recycle Bin, which I'm sure everyone here has already, but if you haven't, go give that a listen. It was a great episode. Great episode.
Well done. Before I forget, so 2 things. I want to get into 2 things. Number 1, I bought something, which I'll talk about here in a minute. I want to put that out there in case I forget, so everyone hears me and keeps me in check. But before that, I forgot to announce something on our last episode that for the first time ever, and get hype, everybody, get hype. Now, this is a YouTube news. It's not really podcast news. But for the first time ever, Greg, that's right, Greg from Greg's Gadgets, the incredibly popular host of the GadgetCast, and Travis MCP, the incredible host on the GadgetCast, are combining powers into 2 magnificent videos. For the first time ever, we will be collaborating on a video series here coming soon. So watch your boxes. Watch your sub boxes soon. That will be coming as soon as we figure out when. But it is going to happen.
I think this video is a lot more work than Travis is thinking, and I think it's going to take a while to hit your sub boxes, to be honest with you. But
it's not going to take me long,
Travis. Now, before we actually get into the show, this feels like the longest intro ever to a GadgetCast, and we do kind of do some long intros sometimes. But I also saw some reviews saying they like the rants. They said keep the rants coming. They like the rantiness of the podcast. I think that's from me. I think I'm usually the one ranting. I got a new target today. I'm not taking down a top tech YouTuber like I usually do. I have a new target today.
Okay, because I have one too. We can both rant. You rant first.
DoorDash, your time has come.
Oh,
DoorDash.
no.
I have ordered from DoorDash for the first time in my life. I did. I needed food. Needed to order. Got some Saru Japan from DoorDash. I don't regret the food. The food was good. But they touted that they were doing free deliveries. I was like, all right, free delivery, awesome. They're doing it. Everything's going on. They're trying to help the people out. Appreciate it. I left a nice big tip too. I'm like, free delivery. They got these drivers out there working hard. Here's a big old fat tip from Greg himself. I look at my receipt. I'm like, this is wrong. There's no delivery fee. Why is my bill like $6 higher than it should be? DoorDash has a service fee and a delivery fee. You can't have both. Those are both the same things. A service fee and a delivery fee, that's the same thing. You can't have two separate fees. What is this? Service fee. You are the service. And I went to the information to see what the service fee is, and they're like, we charge an 11% fee to keep DoorDash running. Then what's the delivery fee? What is this? This is nonsense. I am not for this. I am so upset. DoorDash needs to be canceled.
They need to be canceled. I don't use DoorDash. I was considering using it, but that is kind of bad where they hit you with the service charge. We got to cancel that DoorDash, baby. But you know what?
They fooled me, Travis. I got the app. They're like, we do free promotion with Apple Pay right now. We're doing free delivery if you use Apple Pay. I'm like, oh yeah, I got the setup. I've never used this before. They're trying to get me in with the good experience up first. Nah, they messed it up. Never using that again. I'm gonna go pick it up next time.
Well, Tish told you not to do it. She tried to tell you. Tish is our moderator extraordinaire.
You know what? She's always saying cancel Greg though, so I couldn't listen to her. I couldn't trust her.
This is a true story. So that's the first company we're going to put on blast here on the GadgetCast Rant Hour. I'm going to give you another one, and this is a really good one because it upsets me. I've talked about it. I talked about it somewhere else, but I forgot to talk about it on the last GadgetCast. But let's start blasting fools. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we about ready to cancel this company. It's about ready to cancel itself. For those of you that have smart home devices, y'all might know what Wink is. For those of you who don't, let me real quick give you a brief background and explain to you what Wink is. Wink is a little smart hub that controls smart lighting and some other things using some protocols called Zigbee and Z-Wave and a bunch of other things, right? Now, this was a thing years ago before things like Echoes and stuff had built-in hubs and before there were a lot of Wi-Fi enabled lights and stuff. Back then, it was just another technology that didn't speak directly to the internet. Most devices now you can get in Wi-Fi form. You can get Wi-Fi enabled like light bulbs for pretty cheap. Now, here's the thing. I've had the Wink hub, which does automation as well, for several years, maybe 4 or 5 years. With when you buy it, you buy it and that's it. It works. You can connect it from the internet. You can do all the things. You don't pay anything extra. You just buy the thing and you're done. Well, earlier this week or late last week, they put out an announcement. Now, here's the thing. The only reason I know about this announcement is because I'm on Twitter. If I was not on Twitter, I would not have known about this until today when I got the email saying the same thing. And that is that things aren't financially going well for this company for some reason. Not my problem. Their business was based on selling hardware and that being enough to sustain the internet portion of their business and everything else. It's not working for whatever reason. I mean, this company's been around for a long time. Apparently, it's not working. So they have decided to transition everybody over to their new subscription-based service, $5 a month. Now, $5 a month in and of itself is not bad. However, there's a couple things wrong with it. Number one, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Number two, all the devices were sold with a promise of never having a monthly fee. Now, if you think that's not bad, here's where it gets terrible. The fee starts next week. If you're listening to this podcast, it probably has already started. And even worse than that, if you do not pay the fee, they are bricking your device.
Oh.
So rest in peace, Wink. You just went to the ends of the earth to do the worst possible thing a company can do. Now, my thought is probably that Wink probably is in such dire straits that they can afford to do this, because if they don't, they just straight up losing all the business. My guess is they are in such bad place that they are literally out of money, because you wouldn't do this to your customers. It's terrible. I'm throwing that thing in the trash the minute I can get my lights off of it, which will be very soon. And never again. Never again.
Yeah. So if you're listening, DoorDash, and if you're listening, Wink, we don't want anything to do with you unless you want to sponsor an episode. Yeah. And then I will change my tune very quickly. So
of course, we'll talk about it then.
Consider that a threat. Consider that a threat. Okay.
But we're doubling our price for both of you. So
yeah. It's gonna cost you a fat 50. So
yeah. I see in the chat people asking for exclusive leaks. If we get some, it'll be because of John when he gives some. But yeah, we can talk about the thing that did kind of leak yesterday with the 120 hertz. But before we get into that, I just want to make mention, and it's not a long thing to go into, not a big spiel. I made an order I'm not exactly proud of last night. I ordered AirPods Pros.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, so next GadgetCast, I'll have my thoughts and feelings. I need people to send prayers and thoughts as I just spent too much money.
This is going to be interesting. For people who don't know, Travis historically does not like earbuds. So if AirPods Pro win him over, this will be a moment. I am so interested to hear what Travis has to say about AirPods Pro. Can they win him over? Or
F's in the chat.
I mean, I got mine right here, and people point out last show they were dirty. They are dirty pros.
Jern just literally ordered them 2 minutes before the show, so we both apparently have succumbed to the same.
You guys both don't know what you're missing. They're the best earbuds on the market if you own an Apple device. I must say, they're pricey, but noise cancellation, sound quality, all of it's good. It's all good. Works well in the ecosystem.
Oh, I'm sweating.
Love them. Hey, listen, if John's getting them and you're getting them, it must be a good thing. Time to get on my level, guys. Time to get on my level is what okay? It's about time.
All right, what were you gonna say? You're ridiculous, Greg. By the way, you're ridiculous.
I'm all hyped up. I'm amped up. I'm excited. It's a good
man. Listen, it's been a good couple of weeks. Number one, you of course had your trending video, which we talked about in the last podcast, and then we went to 20th or 19th place.
Yeah.
On the podcast rankings, we're on a high, dude. How is this all happening?
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm racing up to 100K. It's going quicker than I thought, so I'm excited. Yeah, and I love doing GadgetCast every week. I was so looking forward to the show. I think this is like the longest intro we've ever done, though. I am surprised that
it's not an intro anymore. We're actually into the show at this point.
It's like well, I think everything's been so news heavy on the show recently. This is kind of like OG GadgetCast, where we just go on like tirades for a little bit. But I think people are used to John being on the show now, because I see people asking for him like crazy, and there's probably people here who haven't experienced the show with just us. And what you have to know is John's in the chat. You just saw him. So you should just be watching because he's watching. He has good taste. I think we can all agree on that. And sometimes he just drops leaks randomly. And then like Travis have to talk about him. So that's always a possibility in the show.
There's a request for extra Savage Greg. For those of you who are listening to the audio version of the podcast, you may not know that on Viper's Friday night stream, Savage Greg came out of nowhere and just went crazy.
I don't think I went that crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's listen, at the end of the day, Savage Greg is savage. And sometimes I think we saw part of Savage Greg talking about DoorDash.
It's true. That was a glimpse into the savagery. So
I feel like when you use the words glimpse, the word savagery should not be in the same sentence, but I don't know.
I like to do that. If you haven't noticed, I like to put words that don't belong together. I like people are asking about the Pixel 4a.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
We didn't plan to talk about this. From what I can tell, I believe John told us it would be on the 22nd of May, right? Is that an official date?
Yeah, he actually gave a date on GadgetCast. It sounds like it's just like a week or so away. And it could be one of the most interesting phones to come out. I guess the question is like what the price is. Do we know that?
I mean, it's not confirmed. I think they'll go with their $400 strategy. It seemed to work out well with them for the 3A. But who knows? It could be less money. I don't think they'd go for more money, but I would bet on 400. It looks like the design of it looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than the 3A, and I think it looks better than the flagship phone they got going on with the design they went with the hole punch. So I'm excited for that phone. Last year they sent me, I guess technically last year they sent me the or was it this year? No, last year they sent me the 4XL. So I don't know if they're sending me one this time.
I think they would have reached out to you by now, I would think. I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah, they probably would have. Shoot.
Oh, by the way, speaking of emails, did you check the email again? Because I know that's been an ongoing thing with you.
Oh, I told you I'd respond before the show and I didn't. So woops.
I knew it.
But
Greg, I did. You had one job to do.
If you're listening to the person that is emailing us about shirts and decals, I will be responding shortly.
Oh God. Oh Jesus. Okay, thank you. So you were saying. This is GadgetCast, baby. We are the most relevant tech podcast, but we are the most unorganized tech podcast anywhere on the internet. Get used to it. Get on our level.
Unorganized, unorthodox.
And what's the other third U? Unreal.
Underwhelming.
We undefeated players. We undefeated.
Oh, undefeated. That undefeated. What Travis said. Oh man.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, but the Pixel 4a. So the funny thing is, I've been dabbling a little bit into budget phones. I got the TCL 10 Pro, and I just ordered and got in a import phone. I had a lot of people ask me about some of these other companies that have large presences outside of the U.S. I got it. I posted it in my members. Posted a picture of it in my members community tab, and I may do a video on it. We'll see. Holy crap! Are we almost got 100 people watching without Jern? Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. Trust me when I tell you, Sean, I'm not organized. I just want to throw that out there for people listening to the audio podcast. As we say every single week, you got to be here for the live thing, youtube.com/GadgetCast. It's amazing. We have an incredible group of people watching us right now. Really cool. But yeah, I'm not that organized.
Yeah. So yeah, Pixel 4a. I mean, I think we know the play here. It's going to be a budget-oriented phone. It's probably going to have a really great camera. I'm excited to test it out and see if they can make up on some of the shortcomings of the 3A, which, again, for its price point, really wasn't all that much. I wonder if they'll add things like wireless charging, maybe, or water resistance ratings. We'll see what happens with it. But I'm excited to see what that phone is. I think the $400 Pixel is a way better offering than what they've been doing at the flagship level, and we've talked about that so many times on GadgetCast.
Well, once it comes out, we'll dive into it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're thoughts on Apple glasses?
I think this is a good question. So on the last GadgetCast, we talked about the AR glasses. Now, there was a comment on the YouTube video saying that I didn't understand like how big this was. That isn't actually what was happening. What was happening was I was paying attention to the chat, which was moving really fast, and I was only half listening. So I was trying to bring up a question when that came up, and I was moving into the next question. Once I realized what they were talking about, then of course I engaged more into it. I think AR glasses, if done correctly, are really interesting, but it also wasn't exactly clear if you have prescriptions, if you don't have prescriptions, can you do them in sunglasses? For people who don't have prescriptions, why would you ever use glasses? Well, the only time I can ever think of are sunglasses. So if you can integrate them into sunglasses, that makes sense to me. If you can't, then I feel like while you do have a fairly large base of people who wear glasses, you're also eliminating a larger base of people who do not. So that's the part I'm unclear on.
Well, I mean, if they're giving you literally augmented reality features, people will just want to wear them because of the features. I believe I would point to the example of Apple Watches. Who the heck was wearing a wristwatch before the Apple Watch came out? Like no one. I never wanted to wear watches. Once the Apple Watch came out, it's like a totally different story. So I think they could catch on if the features are compelling enough. And what's in my head and what I see from sci-fi and augmented reality, this whole experience, it could be a really life-changing experience. Like the Apple Watch, I think a lot of people knew it was never going to be the next big thing. It's a cool product, and I love the Apple Watch. And for health, it might be, right? For like health and stuff, maybe that is like some next big thing. But in terms of like using it, it was never going to beat the phone. Like it's just too tiny of a screen to ever do that. AR glasses could just kill the phone maybe eventually. I mean, from what we're hearing from Jon, it looks like you're going to need a phone for them to work. The processing power is going to be done off the phone. But in the future, as all these products slim down, as they're able to fit chips inside of the glasses and stuff like that, maybe you live in a world where it's like, AR glasses are the thing. And yeah, I'm so excited for AR glasses. I'm so excited for just a new form factor again, because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had like another race of technology. And
I think we talked about like what is the next. A long time ago on one of the podcasts, we talked about what is next. Yeah. It's not phones. It's like, and I think we both agreed that wearables somewhere in there was the next big thing. Is it AR glasses? It could be, but someone asked in the chat, how much do we think they'll be? And that is going to have a lot to do with okay. So here's the thing. I should say that will be the thing that determines whether the thing is successful or not. But let's be honest. Apple's out here selling $700 wheels and $1,000 stands that Greg is buying. So maybe they can price it at whatever they want to.
I feel like it'll be like a $600 device, like iPhone level when it launched. I don't see it being like $1,000. I think like if Apple's going to do it, they're going to want to hit the mainstream like they always do. Apple Watch was $400 when it came out. iPhone back then they had like, carrier pricing, but if you were to price it out, it was like a $600, $700 phone. So, I'm going to go ahead and say if they're ready to mass produce these things, and the reason why a lot of these technologies are so expensive when they first come out is because no one's willing to mass produce them at scale to get enough customers to buy them. So they have to charge a bunch of money for them. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm optimistic about AR glasses, but again, no one's done it right yet. And there's AR technology out there. I've used things like the Microsoft HoloLens. Have you ever used that?
No, I would like to though.
When when all this is over, go to like a Microsoft store. I don't even know if you'd want to put them on anymore, but they do like demos and stuff. And it is like the biggest like useless tech demo you've ever seen in your life. Like you're like, I would never freaking use this thing in my entire life. But as you're using it, you're like, this is pretty cool. Like you're seeing like everything in front of you, like looking at it. Travis, just imagine you got the AR glasses. You're like, hey, let me put on GadgetCast. You're just walking down the street. They just beam GadgetCast right into your eyes and then feed you the audio AirPods.
Oh, okay. I was like, why would beam it into our eyes? I don't know.
Well, if it's augmented reality, a display in your eye. It's beaming. There's
100 people watching. I think that's a record for without a guest.
Yeah, this is no Jernzo, as they like to say.
Bro, this is a GadgetCast at its finest. We appreciate the love that we are being shown and the amount of subscribers that have been subscribing and all the things that have been happening. We appreciate all the downloads.
Did we mention that we got monetization? We're just waiting for approval.
Yes, we are waiting for approval. So for people who were asking earlier about being able to super chat during the live stream, that's coming as soon as YouTube decides to get around to it. We have no idea how long that's going to take. But you don't have to. You literally don't have to. Just come and listen. Download the audio. Leave us.
As usual, I'm going to disagree with Travis.
Okay.
We all need to super chat to watch the show.
I say just buy our merch. Buy the Cancel Greg shirt, and then we're good.
They'll be buying them now after I said that. They'll be like, what's this guy talking about?
Especially after canceling DoorDash, when a lot of people are living off that. They're keeping them in.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's talk about this. There's a good question in the chat. Let's bring it up and let's shiver to chat about it. Well, you're going to talk more about it than I am. Should I buy the newly refreshed version of the 13-inch MacBook Pro or wait for the bigger update next year? But I'm worried about ARM app capability. What is your opinion? And I know that you have the 13-inch MacBook Pro. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so my advice usually is anytime I review a product, someone will say, wait for the next one. But you can't wait forever. You can't. If you need a new laptop now, go buy one. I think this MacBook Pro is a nice refresh. It's not the biggest refresh in the world, but you're getting that new keyboard, which a lot of people wanted. The 10th generation Intel processors are pretty good. It's a good laptop, especially, again, Travis, we talked about this so much with Apple lately. They doubled the storage. They doubled the RAM. It's a much better value than what they were selling before. But if you don't need a new laptop, I would wait. Because we know that Apple is going to be doing an ARM transition. We might learn more about it at WWDC potentially, so that's only a month away. So if you kind of want to see their future roadmap, I think you'll get a really good indication of what's coming at that press conference next month. Now, in terms of app compatibility and stuff, I feel like it might be safer to buy an Intel Mac right now than getting an ARM Mac. That's where you might run into some growing pains at the start of that transition. Your favorite apps might not work immediately for an ARM Mac. It might not be well optimized. Though, I think if you're worried about compatibility, I feel like the Intel is the safer bet. I don't think Apple's going to be like, all of our Intel Macs, they're not going to work tomorrow. No way. They're going to still be supporting Intel for probably a long time. So, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'd more worry about it if you're getting an ARM Mac. Is all the software going to be up to date? Is Adobe going to update everything? Because that's a huge thing for them to do potentially. And if they're not going to see a lot of money in it, some of your favorite apps just be like, no, we're going to stick with the Intel Macs. And they could probably do that for like 2 years and then go, okay, now we'll transition over because a lot of the newer sales are on the ARM Macs.
Now,
yeah,
real quick,
sure.
there was a comment in chat about trying to order the Cancel Greg shirt, but for some reason, when he clicked the link, Teespring was messing up.
Oh no.
Teespring trying to hate on us. Jeremy, give it another shot later on today. I'll check the link after the show, and if they're messing up, we'll get into that. But here's to that point, the power that Apple has been able to squeeze out of their processors is really interesting. So there's a question here. Can we talk about how Samsung and AMD together could be powerful enough to power a console? I actually thought what he was going to say, I thought I misread it. And could together be, well, first of all, I don't see Samsung making a gaming console, but I watched a video last night by a guy named ETA Prime, has a really cool channel here on YouTube. And he did a really interesting, he does a lot of emulation, like emulating old school consoles like Wii and stuff like that. And he does it on pretty much every single phone that's out there. And he's done it on a couple of the Snapdragon 865 phones, which would include the Galaxy S20 and the gaming phone, the Red Magic 5G. And he said that, they did very well. But when he did, I think it was Wii and what's the other Nintendo console? Wii and GameCube emulation, I think it was, that they did okay. But when he emulated it on the iPad Pro, he said he had never seen something so smooth, and he upscaled it to 1440p. He said he's never been able to get that to work on any other mobile processor at that speed, which really kind of confirms what we've been saying for a long time, that the A series, even if like there's a couple benchmarks that say that the 865 is faster than the A13, I think. But I think in the realism, like of using it for certain things, I think this really just says a lot. Like when you're actually trying to use it for something, the A series of processors are just beastly. And being able to put those eventually into a laptop, or maybe someday, I mean, let me blow my mind here, a desktop, holy crap, on a stick. Like if I'm AMD, I'm keeping an eye over my shoulder. They're doing a great job of starting to kick Intel's butt. But you got to look at Apple. If they really want to get into the processor race, this could be really interesting.
Yeah. And for Apple and stuff like that, I think they'll just keep it to their own products. So I don't even know if AMD necessarily has to worry if Apple's just going to keep the chips to themselves. But yeah, you're right about that A series. According to Jon, this is a full transition that is eventually going to happen with these A series chips. And we should see desktop class computers from Apple running on their own processors. And I've seen a couple things in the chat. I don't know if you can highlight them now. It was a while ago, but they were asking, will the A series laptops and desktops be cheaper? I think they will, because Apple's making that part, and apparently Intel for this latest lineup wanted like $100 extra for the chips. Like they marked it up like ridiculously, which is why supposedly that entry-level MacBook Pro doesn't have the new 10th generation chips, like the very base model of it, because they wanted a lot more money for their chips. So I think it will be cheaper. I mean, you look at iPads and you look at the hardware on them, and it's kicking what, like, say, the MacBook Air would do in just terms of hardware. So it's exciting. It would be cool just to see like Apple kind of be even more unique, right? Because their laptops right now, it's like, well, you go buy a Windows laptop, you go buy a Mac laptop, they're probably both powered by Intel. So what happens when you are in complete control of your own destiny? What kind of features can you add?
Here's an interesting question about Windows versus Mac OS. Now, I have no experience with Mac OS. I use Windows and everything else, so that's, to me, it's like that's what I use. But as someone like you who's used both, I mean, I know you've used Windows at least a couple times. What do you think?
Windows on my MacBook Pro. So
it's ridiculous, by the way. But ads in the chat says, I don't find it worth it to switch to Mac OS. What's your take? Is it like worth going from Windows to Mac? What are the real big kind of pluses?
Well, I'd say right now, if you have an iPhone, like if you're on Android, maybe you're like, what's the point of switching over? But if you have an iPhone and stuff like that, again, being in this Apple ecosystem, having the integration, sending a message and being able to answer it anywhere, all that good stuff that you already know with the Apple ecosystem, it just works so well together. So if you have an iPhone and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to try a Mac, why not give it a shot? But I mean, I don't want to get into this, Windows versus Mac war. I mean, in reality, whatever works best for you works best for you. The Mac works well for me. Windows might work well for Travis. If you game, right, you're not really doing that on a Mac, which is why I put Windows on my MacBook Pro to test out gaming with it. So there's advantages and disadvantages to every platform. So it depends. Do you want to? Is there a specific feature on macOS that you want to try?
Yeah,
I think it's a better experience. I think it's a smoother experience. There's a lot of, again, I just installed Windows on the MacBook, and there's just a lot of things that irk me about Windows as I'm setting it up, as I'm trying to open certain apps, things start crashing. I'm starting to get weird dialogues. I don't like how Windows looks. I think it's an ugly operating system to look at. I don't like the icons. And then if you dig into settings, it starts to look pretty archaic pretty quickly. But again, these are pet peeve things. If you have a program that only works on Windows, if you like the way Windows works, if you like the customization that you can get on a PC, which you're just not going to get on a Mac, there's pros and cons to both operating systems. So again, if whoever asked that question in the chat, if there's something you want to try out on macOS, give it a shot. Like if you're like, oh, I want to try Final Cut, I want to try the integration with iPhone, I want to just try the operating system in general, try it. But if you don't see a use for it, don't bother.
So let's talk a little bit about the iPhone 12's recent leaks of it going to 120 hertz, which to me, I was so weird because everyone's making such a big deal about this, but I thought we knew this. I thought we already knew this. Am I wrong?
So wait, the 120 hertz?
Yeah, I thought we already knew that the iPhone 12s were very likely to have. Is it that it's now confirmed? Is that the big deal that it's actually confirmed now?
I don't know if it is confirmed. I didn't hear it come out of John's mouth. So
Everything Apple Pro did a video.
Yeah, Everything Apple Pro did a video saying it's going to be 120 hertz confirmed. Again, I don't know what his sources are. In the past, he said other things were confirmed and they haven't turned out to be true. So I just don't know how reliable of a source he is. But I would assume that we are getting 120 hertz on the iPhone 12 Pro because what is going to be the difference between the base model and the Pro model?
Yes.
Or on the 11 had LCD, the Pro had OLED. This year, as we know from John, all iPhones will be getting OLED displays. Now, a big difference they could do is go, okay, well, these smaller phones obviously probably won't have bigger batteries in them. So we're not going to do a 120 hertz display because obviously that just hits the battery like crazy. But a 6.1 inch phone and a 6.7 inch phone can pack in a pretty big battery. So we can put in that 120 hertz technology. And that is a nice upsell. That is something that people will go, I want that faster refresh rate. That's something that someone who would buy the Pro version would go, oh, I want that. So I think it's true. Again, they have this technology on the iPad. It's not like they don't have, it's not like they don't believe in the technology. They already have it in their iPad Pros. I can see them going on stage and saying, yeah, we got it in the iPhones now. I just don't know how confirmed it is. It's been speculation up to this point. If John says it, I'll take it 100%. I just don't know if Everything Apple Pro has the best track record.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think it's between him and Max Weinbach. Who Max has been pretty solid.
Yeah, Max.
I didn't
good.
I didn't watch the actual video. I just saw some reports on it or whatever. So regardless of what the answer is, this doesn't surprise me in the least. So I'm a little confused why it's such a big deal. I think we kind of assumed that was going to be the case. I think we also assumed that it's going to have, even before it was confirmed that it was going to have a LiDAR camera. As soon as the iPad Pro came out with a LiDAR camera, you're like, okay, well now we know that, that's definitely going to be on the iPhones, because it makes more sense on a phone than an iPad. So I think there's some things we just assume. We already know 5G is going to be on there. So there's just a lot of things that I'm actually surprised it's a big deal, because I thought we already knew this.
Yeah, I mean, it was assumed. A lot of people are just taking educated guesses. A lot of people assumed that there would be 120 hertz last year, maybe. But I think now that a lot of Android phones have it, now that a lot of these OLEDs, I think last year, right, it was like a struggle. Like there was like 90 hertz and it was approaching 120 hertz. But then once Samsung came out with it. Now, the question is, and again, this is why I assume it'll be there, but I'm not 100%. 120 hertz is a big hit on the battery. It is. Yeah. On Samsung's phones, they cap you at 1080p if you're doing 120, right?
Yeah. So, I think there's a patch coming out. I don't know if it's out yet, but they're supposed to take that cap off, but yeah.
There is no way Apple will let you change phone resolutions on on your phone, right? Like that's not happening. It will either ship with 120 hertz and it will be the resolution it is, or it will not have 100. Like that's the kind of company Apple is. They're not giving you the disable 120 hertz setting. It will ship with or without. Now the thing that Apple has is they've done this on iPads. Now iPads do have bigger batteries, so you have to take that into consideration, but they already have the technology for variable refresh rate, like Vipre is saying in the chat. They've done it on iPads to the point where you don't notice it. You don't know when it's downscaling because it's when you're not touching it, it's downscaling to 60 hertz, or even like if you're watching like a movie, Travis, like it'll downscale to like 24 because that's all you need is 24. So they already have that technology to save battery life on the iPad. I assume it would just be on the iPhones as well, and that's how they'll get around that battery thing. We know Google tried something similar with the Pixel 4, but the way they did it was not as elegant because it was tied to things like screen brightness of all things, which that didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I remember that. Remember I was saying that it didn't look like 90 hertz when I saw it, and then we come to find out that it wasn't.
Yeah, I remember we had like our first impressions. I think used like the device somewhere. I had one, and we're like, it was before we like got the confirmation. I'm like, this does not feel like a high refresh rate display. There's just something off with this. I don't get it. And then we found out, yeah, they capped it. It was weird.
Yeah, it is interesting that I think it will be variable. I think that's a smart thing. Well, here's the other thing. They got the battery life on the Pros so good last year that it's possible that they won't make it variable. Maybe they figured out another optimization, but more than likely it will be variable just to not affect that incredible battery life.
And I think everything Apple Pro said they'll be putting bigger batteries in there again. So I don't think Apple wants to give up the battery gains they got this year, considering how glowing the reviews were for the 11 Pro series. So I think there's a good chance it'll be there. But again, he had to backtrack some things, right? He came out with this video, and the last video he had said the iPhone's gonna have a smart connector. Now this video comes out and he goes, never mind, it's not having a smart connector. So you know what I mean? Like the track record here where maybe everything Apple Pro is a little more willing to throw out something that might be there. Where someone like Jon, I haven't seen him comment on this publicly. So I think to me, that means it's still kind of up in the air at this point.
Well, I mean, Jon's a journalist,
you know,
Jon's a journalist and everything Apple Pro is not. I don't think everything Apple Pro is trying to be one. So that's not an insult. No. I'm not a journalist. I'm a podcaster and a YouTuber or whatever. So yeah, I think that there's a difference between what you're willing to say if you're a journalist versus what you're not willing to say. And he's a younger guy too. I think Philip over there at Everything Apple Pro is a younger guy. Regardless, I think he's just excited, and which is fine. I think if he hasn't put out some type of disclaimer like this may or may not happen, then I might question that. But other than that, Jon's the only guy right now that's like been so on top of things that you're like, okay, he said it, it's good. And Jon is indeed a journalist.
Everything Apple Pro will cover every single possibility of what could be, but it's not always 100% true. I remember, I think it wasn't too long ago, he covered like an iOS leak and said it was like confirmed. And then like the next day he had to make like a video going, oh, apparently that was all fake. So, you know what I mean? Like there's a little more, it's a little more like, there's less vetting, as Travis said. Not to say that his stuff isn't accurate. Again, like you said, he had Max Weinbeck on that, who I think is a lot more accurate. So if they're working together, that's a good thing. And I watched his video, and he mentioned Jon Prosser a bunch of time, and he said this was exclusive from Jon. So what's the deal, Jon? I thought we had the exclusive contract with Gadget.
What's up, that Jernzo?
You moving on to bigger and better pastures? you trying to get up to Philip's level, live in that miniature Apple home with him? I'm on to you, Jon. You know, the lawyers will be in contact shortly.
His are more higher paid though than ours.
Well, you know, ours got spunk.
Ours try really hard.
Yeah, ours we got the spunky lawyers.
Ours got C's in the they passed the bar with the minimum score possible, but they gave it their all. So we gave them their shot.
Could you imagine if we actually had a real feud with Jon?
Oh my God.
And
you can't do that.
How fast would the chat just turn on us? How fast?
It would be terrible. It would be terrible. It will never happen, and it would be terrible. I would never.
I love Jon. You know, I'm just gonna text him right now that I love him.
Okay, you do that. We've already talked about Apple AR glasses. There's not a lot of more like new information. We did discuss them for people in the chat. People listening on the podcast, of course, we're talking to people in the chat. There's been a darn near 100 people this entire time on the live streams. It's been really spectacular. We appreciate you. Of course, if you're listening on the audio podcast, you can come check us out on youtube.com/GadgetCast, baby. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, it would be Team Jern. I would actually turn on you.
Yeah, I turn on myself, to be honest. Yeah, cancel Greg, right? Is that what the kids say?
Yeah, that's what they say. By the way, so Ad says, what do you think about the $700 wheels sold by Apple? By the way, that don't have brakes, so your little Apple computer can roll across the floor without being stopped, which is terrible. I think that's terrible.
John sent me a heart, so we're good, guys. We're good.
Oh, that's good. So, I didn't see that. Is this a one-to-one chat?
Private chat.
Oh Lord, you guys have booted me out of the group chat. What's going on? Well, terrible. Well, definitely cancel Greg, because this is ridiculous.
I don't think you want the hearts, Travis.
I saw the hearts earlier in the previous thing we had, conversation.
You like that? Do you feel left out?
No, listen. You do what you do, man. You do what you do. You're picking fights with all these people, all these big corporations and big YouTubers and stuff. I'm not doing that, except for Wink, and they're going out of business anyway, I'm sure.
Well, and DoorDash, right? You agree, DoorDash?
You did. No, you did. I haven't used DoorDash, so I don't know. I don't know.
The first thing I did was pick a fight with Travis, and we're like friends.
I know, right? We started a podcast together.
And maybe he'll join us on the podcast. I think they like it. A little drama makes things interesting. I think the people like the drama. I think they want to see the tech fight.
They do indeed. But GadgetCast is too good for that.
It is too good for that. But yeah, iPhone 12 stuff, it's exciting. I think we've, when John gave us the leaks on the pricing and stuff like that, $650 going back to $650, man, it is Apple I'm telling you, this was a master strategy, making every single competitor chase that $1,000 price point all the way up to OnePlus. Come on, yes. OnePlus all the way. And now they're just going completely back around and just giving people a normal iPhone 12, $650. Man, oh man, just depending on how the economies of the world are, which isn't a guarantee. But I think that is such a winning strategy. I think they're going to sell a boatload of those.
I sincerely hope that Samsung follows up with that and does what they did with the 10e. I don't know that they will. Technically, the 10e itself did not sell well. However, it did help the entire 10 series sell decent overall, because without it, the series would have sold potentially less than the 9, which sold less than the 8.
And we've said this before on GadgetCast. The S20 lineup, it was just the most confusing thing to see out of Samsung. Just sticking with, and yeah, we get it. Samsung has other phones. They have everyone every time. Oh, they have the A51. And it's like, it's not the same thing. And I mean, I just read a review of the A51 on The Verge, and they didn't seem to like it. So,
by the way, before we get into this other stuff, can I talk a little bit about what I see people making like definitive. Now, it's okay to speculate on rumors and stuff, but I see people making definitive statements on things that have not happened and products that are not out. And I feel like if you have an opinion, that's fine, but then making like statements, there's some YouTubers that are doing this and stuff, talking about things that are not like real, that don't exist. Settle down. Everybody settle down. You can hate on like the idea of something or give a critical review of something like that, but there's some people talking about like it's true, and you need to settle down, man, because you're going to lose the fact that people believe in you. And that's a very, very, listen, when you get someone's trust, you need to treat it like a little baby.
Who are we talking about, Travis?
I'm not, that's you name people's names.
Yeah,
I ain't naming nobody.
See, I want to know, Travis, who are you talking about?
I'm just saying, treat your audience like a nice little newborn baby. You caress them, you love them. You take their head and you go like this, when they're a little baby, you give a little kiss just like that. And you go, I love you, subscribers and viewers. You pay my bills. I'm not going to lie to you no more.
So do what I did with my MacBook to my subscribers.
Is that what you did?
You watched the video?
Oh yeah, I did watch that. My face had a cramp. I was cringing so hard. I'm just going to say it, but I liked it. I'm not going to lie. I laughed.
You laugh?
It's one of the first times I've laughed at a Greg's Gadget video.
It was
like
supposed to be very
laugh.
cringy, so it accomplished its goal if it made you cringe and laugh. So that was
Yes,
the goal.
I did. And if you have not seen that video, you should leave a link in the show notes because I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it because it was so weird.
Thank you. Thank you. That is for people who know me, that is the best compliment you can. That is honestly the best. When someone's like, "Oh, it made me cringe," I'm like, "Yes, I did."
Yes, that's exactly what I was.
So,
I saw the comment where he said they left your video on, left the room, came back, and you were caressing them.
yes.
Oh, good.
My audience seemed to love it, so they're like, "I love this. It's so good. Best video yet." So,
Oh my god,
I
so
like
funny.
the butterflies flying around. You know, that took some work. It took some extra editing time that I wasn't originally planning on doing. But once I came up with the idea, I'm like, I gotta go full.
There was a lot of editing in that part. So another good question about the AirPods Studio, which is something that Jern is talking about on Twitter. They're calling it AirPods Studio, which is kind of interesting. We usually think of AirPods as earbuds, but as Jern Whiteley pointed out, there's HomePod, which is not, a bud. Like a pod means whatever. And they're over-the-ear headphones. And these are the ones I think that are $350, right? Something like that, or something ridiculous. Are we going to buy and review them? Well, first of all, Greg's definitely buying them. He buys everything.
It's true.
I don't know if I'm going to. We'll see. I didn't think I would ever buy the AirPods Pro, and here they are coming tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely get them, like Travis said. I mean, I run an Apple focused channel, and Apple headphones, why not? I like AirPods so much, so I'm willing to try them. Yeah, I mean, 350 isn't crazy to me either, just because Beats exist, and that's like what you pay for like a pair of Beats anyway. So it's not too crazy.
We'll see what happens. I mean, the quality's gone up, and the reason why I'm getting the AirPods Pros, I was watching a video last night, and I think it was a Flossie Carter video, and he was reviewing something, and he's not the only person who said this. Jeff has said this too. Jeff from El Jefe Reviews, my boy, who does all these earbud and headphone reviews that I respect his opinion, continues to talk about how, despite the fact all these other new great earbuds are coming out, that they always mention the AirPods Pros for quality. They're always like this battle of, are they better than those? It's almost like that's the standard. So I'm like, okay, finally, I'm just going to go ahead and pay too much money for these. They were on sale on Amazon, but still pay too much money for these. I'm going to try them. We're going to see what happens. And I'm going to let you know for sure, for real.
Travis is he's the only one you can trust, I think. I don't know.
Jeff's going to get that OnlyFans account going. Appreciate you, Jeff. Oh yeah, one other thing we kind of talk about before we wrap up. No thoughts on the SE overheating while recording video. So I haven't recorded like a lot of video with the SE. However, last night I was doing something with it and it was getting really warm. And then I literally saw someone tweet about that like later that night. Now, the funny thing about this actually is exactly what was happening on the iPhone 6s when I put the iOS 13 beta on, because before that it didn't get warm. So SE, is it getting too warm when it gets used too much because of the small form factor, the battery, the processor being an A13, which is supposed to be more energy efficient, but perhaps burning more power? Have you experienced this at all?
I wouldn't say it's overheating. It can get warm for sure. Warmer than like the 11 Pro, yeah. But it's not overheating. Like, it's not like shutting off or like slowing down. It can get warm though if you're like doing stuff. With video though, I didn't notice it, and I've actually recorded a lot of video with my SE. But I've noticed it like gaming and stuff, but not recording video.
Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about next time. Obviously, I'll have my AirPods Pro. I'll be talking about those. You'll probably have your review of the MacBook Pro, right? By that point, by next week's show.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I hope so. I don't know. I was supposed to have my SE review out by now, but Apple just derailed me by like releasing a new product and like making me shift my focus. I don't know. I've just got like a feeling, and like I got like a pit in my stomach that they're gonna announce a product tomorrow. Like I'm gonna wake up.
Oh.
It's gonna be John tweeting like an hour before going something. That is not confirmed. John didn't say anything. I'm just saying, like, I feel like they've been releasing a new product every week, and John said they got AirPods already done, and like the iMac done, and an Apple TV done, or something like that. So
yeah, there are several products waiting.
I'm gonna wake up and my wallet's gonna be like completely empty.
It could be. The thing is, we don't know. Apparently, according to John, there's a bunch of products just sitting, waiting to be released. So that literally could happen at any time. So definitely keep it locked to the cast for more of that. Anything else before we go?
How is it? We've been recording for 51 minutes. I feel like we
Yeah.
just started. I don't even feel like we gave people enough info on everything. I
Bro,
feel
it's GadgetCast, man. It's the best tech podcast you can get. And the best thing you can do for us, if you really love the show, is to share it out. Tell people about it. Tell them to rate it, download it, listen to it, love it.
Yeah. So for all the people listening in the YouTube show and stuff like that, if you want to listen to the audio version, just hit subscribe on your favorite podcast player of choice. If you're an Apple Podcast and if you like the show, leave us a review. If you want the review read out, again, we did that in the beginning of the show, so maybe I'll do that again if I see some more cool reviews coming in. You can write something out too when you rate it 5 stars and all that stuff. But yeah, I think this was a good show.
It was great. It was awesome. And by the way, gadgetcast.net is the link to all of our audio podcasts. Of course, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/gadgetcast. And then also we have our shirts, the Cancel Greg, Cancel Travis shirts available. If you click the link in the description below or on the show notes, information will be there. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing. We're on Twitter as well. Real GadgetCast. And don't even bother emailing us because Greg never checks it.
It's official. You can email the show. I'll check it. I've checked it.
Well, we can ready to do this after party. If you're in listening to the audio podcast, this is going to be the end. But for those of you in the live stream, we party for about 5 minutes afterwards, and sometimes some weird things happen. So if you ever want to check that out, just go to our YouTube channel and check that out.
Shout out to Craig, who is just here for he came for the after party.
That's amazing.
That is the opposite. Most people
leave.
Party. Most people don't get the exclusive leaks of the after party.
Which is true, because that has happened on more than one occasion. But for all y'all listening audio, we appreciate you greatly. And we will see you next time. As always, he's Greg. I'm Travis. We're GadgetCast. See you next time. Recording has stopped, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go to this place called the GadgetCast.
I just like watching the drop off as we end. Like, I don't get it. Like, what's so different? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird.
When we start the show, it goes up pretty quick. When we end it, it's like people know. How do you know? I don't even know. How is that possible?
I can't believe the episode's over. I don't know. That went by quick for me. Like, I was into it.
That was a long episode. It's 50-something minutes.
Yeah, it was just us too. No guest in 50 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, I looked over and I'm like, oh, it's like we got to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, listen, we want people to come back and want more.
I think those rants were a little too long.
But people in chat, were the rants too long? Listen, I'm willing to be outvoted here. How were the rants? And Dan, I missed it. That's funny. I'm here just not missed. We went long too. Did it go? How were the rants? Were the rants too long? No, the rant was not too long. Can I send you mail by pigeon? Rants were just right. Rants were great.
I need Tech Rant to tell me was
That's right.
Too long.
Everything was good, so we good. I think everything's good. All right, so
okay, I found the review. Finish Office, who left us a review, said, I love how this show talks and rants about tech with unbiased opinions. These people are fun to listen to.
Love it.
Specifically mentioned ranting.
So are we going to do one question go? I get worried about this because I feel like someone's going to troll us one time and that's going to be terrible, but we can do it.
Do people want to come in, ask us a question? You want to talk to the GadgetCast peeps?
For those of you that are new, we actually did this a couple weeks ago and we might try it again right now if you're interested, where we put the link in the chat. You can join us. You can ask us one question. We will answer it. This is based off of a KSI thing that he does. And we'll try to answer it as best we can. But after you ask the question, you're getting booted. So it's not like you get to hang with us or anything. You can say something nice about us, ask our question, we'll answer it for you, and then we boot you. Do people want that? If they want that, I'll put the link into the chat. Let me know. All AirPods Pro, Beats Pro, here comes the I know, that's the other thing.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny though.
But never again. Only once.
Yeah, let's see what's going on. Yes, there's one person says yes. Has anyone seen AirPods Studio? We haven't seen them yet. Sure. Okay. We got a couple of yeses and sures. Okay.
All right, come on. Let's do it.
All right.
Bring them in.
Okay. All right.
We're
gonna do. How many of these are we doing, Greg? Because I feel like we don't want to push our luck on this.
I don't know how many, but let's
see what happens.
The first couple do, and then we'll see.
Okay. So I'm about to shoot a link into the chat. Once you see it, you can click on it. It will allow you. Please have your camera on. Make sure your mic is attached, and let's see what happens. This could end up being bad, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. You never know. Fun times. One question, and then you go. You can ask us whatever. We will try our best to ask. And then
you want Jon Prosser's personal address? I got you.
Yeah, I don't even have that. I have his number though.
I don't have his address. I'm kidding.
Okay, here we go. First one up. Jackson Bowles. What's going on, Jackson?
Hey, Jackson.
Hello.
How you doing, man? What's going on? What's your question?
You guys like AirPods Pro or Beats Pro better?
AirPods Pro or Beats Pro? Okay, go ahead, Greg.
AirPods Pro, way better. Comfort, noise cancellation, fit. The fact that I don't have to put the ear hooks on and everything like that. I have both of them, and I enjoy AirPods Pro a lot more. Also, the case is much smaller. So AirPods Pro for me. I don't know if Travis even has an answer.
Well, so I have messed around with some ghetto, some knockoff AirPod Pros, and those were kind of nice. So I think that's what it's going to be. I think I'm going to go with that. Jackson, we appreciate you, player. Thank you for coming on through, man.
Then I'll buy
See
it.
you around. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. There he was. Jackson Bowles. Appreciate you, Jackson. Oh, here we go. Another one. Double of the O's. What you got? Hello. Oh, it's
Would you let's see, do a review on the S10 Lite and Note 10 Lite?
S10 Lite, Note 10 Lite review.
I was considering to buy one of those.
Okay, that's a good question. I know Gregory won't because he's an Apple lover, but I would. And as a matter of fact, I actually have that on my list of things that I might pull up here pretty soon, but I have some other budget phones I'm going to do first. Probably the S10. The Note 10 Lite I probably wouldn't do because the processor's kind of ghetto. But other than that, I probably would do. What about Greg? I'll let you answer as well. Why not?
I will not be doing a review on them. It doesn't interest me enough for.
That's what I figured.
And light stuff, but I got my Android street cred right in front of me. I spent $1,400 on a foldable.
You're ridiculous.
Okay, don't try and besmirch my name.
All right, double of the O's. We appreciate you. Next up is the man about tech, Vipre. What's going on, player?
Woo! What's up, people? What's up? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
Doing good.
I got a quick one, baby. There's a lot of talk out there that ProMotion could potentially make or break the iPhone 12 Pros. Can y'all please just put this nonsense to bed? Because there's no way in hell the everyday person going to give a monkey snivel about ProMotion.
You want to answer first?
That's a good question. Let me no, you answer first. Sure. I gotta think about that.
I think you're referring, and I'm not afraid to name names, Ice Universe's tweet where he said right? Something about that. Was it Ice Universe? I don't know. He said something about like Android phones are in trouble if there's like ProMotion on the iPhone or something like that. And I don't think so. I don't think enough people even care. I think these iPhones will sell without ProMotion regardless. Even I don't care too much about it. Like I would like to have ProMotion in there, but it's not one of those make or break features for me. I like it on my iPad, but when I switch over between like the budget iPads and stuff, it's not like I'm like, oh man, this thing's unusable because it doesn't have ProMotion. It's like, the other one was a little bit smoother and stuff like that. So yeah, it's nice. I'd prefer to have it, but it's not a deal breaker.
Not at all. Good answer.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's not going to make or break anything. But as someone said in the chat earlier, the delineation between Pro and non-Pro might be 120. That might be one of the big delineations between the two, which would make sense to me. But the man about tech is in the house. Make sure you check him out on here on the YouTube. Appreciate you, Vipre. And we got one more. This will be the last one. I can't. How do you pronounce your name? Qudsi. How you doing?
Hello. Do you think we could expect to see NVIDIA graphics cards next year?
NVIDIA next. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
could we at least hope for them? Do you think it would be quite nice to have?
In the Mac?
Yes, in the MacBook Pros.
I'm gonna say no. I think Renee usually talks about this a lot, and he's smarter than me. Apple and and Nvidia kind of have a little bit of a fight for multiple reasons. One year they messed up graphics cards, and they wouldn't take responsibility for it. Apple's kind of one of those companies where they're like, "All right, fine, we'll just go get someone else to do it for us." Also, Nvidia wants a lot of like licensing and support and stuff like that. They want Apple to write I forget the exact terminology, but they kind of want control over this layer, and Apple wants control over that layer. And Apple giving up control is not going to happen. And it doesn't look like Nvidia wants the business either for some reason. So I think they'll keep going with AMD for now. And there's rumors that Apple's even like working on like their own graphics cards for like desktops and stuff. So I think they make their own.
And that's what I think is going to happen before they would ever go back to NVIDIA. Now, could it happen? Sure. And I'll tell you why. Because there was another battle that Apple was in until very recently that out of nowhere came to be, which was Amazon and Apple. Now, of course, there's a lot more at stake there by selling stuff on Amazon for Apple than having a graphics card from NVIDIA. Having said that, anything's possible, but more than likely, Apple it's just another reason for them to look at not having to depend on another manufacturer for the success of their products. Good question there. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time here on the GadgetCast. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us. I've got to go do things, and Greg has nothing to do.
I was going to stay here with you the whole time, and Travis just ruined it all for you. So, you know,
we got to let him more, man. Don't you know how to
order your cancel Travis shirts? You know, I was ready to rock out with you guys the whole night, but Travis,
how dare you? But you can order them at this link below.
See,
all monies go to proceeds.
You guys were typing cancel Greg, but I was the good one. Travis was evil. From my point of view, Travis is evil.
Anyway, I gotta go because I got other things I need to do. But anyway, I appreciate you. We definitely both appreciate you, and definitely check out our channels. We got some stuff. I just dropped a video this morning, so make sure you go check that out as well. Everyone, will see you again real soon. Peace and love.
Take care.
Bye-bye.